Very well. Well, the script turned out to be smaller than I thought, so I have to be closer to the screen to read it out to you. Basically, a little while ago, our firm was advising companies, oil and gas companies, chemical companies, and they were very interested in finding out better? Yeah. And they were very interested in finding out who are the NGOs we can work with. We are not so interested in working with eco-warriors who are climbing up our chimneys, or tree huggers who have very lovely ideas but are not very actionable. We are really looking for creative partners. We found out actually there's very little information. There's no ranking, there's no comparative product. We actually have to go and contact the NGOs ourselves or companies to find out, who is really a good partner potentially for a company to work with. So we thought of setting up a product which we believed would help the market. The product would actually look at rating NGOs from the perspective of a company. So companies would say, we really treasured partnering with NGO A or B or X for the following reasons. So we went around in 2005 and we interviewed a number of companies on both sides of the Atlantic and asked them, look, would you be interested in knowing, what are some of the great NGOs to partner with? And they were like, splendid idea. Obviously they didn't want to pay for it. But they really liked the idea. And so we knew that we would need to reach out to a large number of companies in order to get information. We felt this is very much at the beginning of the partnership relationship between NGOs and companies. So we thought, who better than the UN Global Compact, the largest corporate responsibility entity in the world, with over 3,000 members that we could leverage. They were excited about the idea. And then we knew that, okay, we have them in the boat, we really need to go out there and push the market. Because one of the, let's say, missions of my firm is that we really like to make the public, the society, companies think. And so we said, there's no reason creating the product without a right media channel. So Financial Times was very interested in having another ranking added to their MBA world. And they said, great, let us do it, we're going to publish it, we create a special report, and we're going to make it public. And we're going to rank the top NGOs that companies like to work with. And so we had to know what are the categories that companies would like to rate NGOs on. And one important thing was accountability. There is a lack of accountability corporations feel among NGOs. They really don't know how they're governed, how they're structured. How does it look like? The other thing is adaptability. So do NGOs really understand what a company looks like and operates? Or do they want to fulfill their own agenda? How do they understand the core business of the company to best leverage it for a partnership? The other one was communication. So how good is the communication between the NGO and the company? Do they kind of talk across each other? Do they understand each other? And then lastly, what is the execution skill of the NGO? Can the NGO really implement what it pledged to do together with the company? And so out came this NGO guide. And the reason was we wanted to really increase the transparency about what's going on around the world. And we soon realized that the 3,000 members that the Global Compact had were not enough. And we had to reach out to much more members. So we got in touch with the International Chamber of Commerce, IEF, EBBF was a great supporter, and BSR, so all kinds of business institutions. And funnily enough, within a week's time, they all agreed to support us. They were really delighted by the idea. Nobody had ever tried this. And here are some very interesting results. We wanted to understand what do companies think about the partnership with NGOs and UN agencies in terms of importance. And interesting is that companies believe that for them, the partnership is much more important than for the rest of the world. So they believe that they are further progressed than the market. And the interesting thing about about the survey was we didn't only wanted to know the opinion of companies that had actual partnerships with NGOs, but also we wanted to know those that haven't yet. And you see on the right side, companies with no prior partnership experience, when they look inwardly towards their own organization, more than 60% believe that it's going to be important in the near future. So that's a huge, let's say, trend that these companies believe the market will give in terms of partnership with NGOs. Okay, so I'm missing the most important part on the left. I don't know what happened there.